Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me for Careers Month 2021. I am super thrilled to be a part of this, and a huge thank you to Girls That Scuba for inviting me to participate. My name is Emma Andrews. I'm an active PADI Master Instructor and also one of the owners of the award-winning 5-star Instructor Development Centre, Crystal Divers in Mauritius. So a little bit about me. I started my scuba diving journey 16 years ago when I was traveling around Southeast Asia. I knew that I wanted to become a scuba diver because at the time I had a fear of deep water, and this was something that I really wanted to work to try and overcome. A PADI examiner once said to me that you are more likely to remember your open water scuba instructor than your first boyfriend or girlfriend. And I think this is really true. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to become a PADI instructor. I really wanted to make a difference and introduce people to a whole new world, as I'd enjoyed my open water training so very much. As soon as I surfaced from my first ocean dive, I knew that this was the industry for me and where my heart truly belonged. The passion, the thrill, the fun, the camaraderie and excitement of everything that goes with scuba diving was something that I really wanted to make a career out of. But I had a difficult task in front of me. I was enrolled in law school and I had a career path ahead of me in that field. So what next, and what did I do? I struggled to reconcile or see a clear way of reconciling these two worlds, the age-old problem of whether to follow your head or to follow your heart. But while I figured this out, I continued on with my studies, and I also worked to complete all of my PADI courses up to the instructor level. I travelled and I trained during university holidays, and I volunteered with my local dive club to try and get as much experience as I possibly could to help me along the way. And 4 years later, I finally became a PADI open water scuba instructor. And it was honestly one of the most memorable, happy and incredible experiences of my life, and one that I will never ever forget. So now I had an even bigger problem, not least because I'd met my future husband Tony, who worked for PADI as the regional manager for Thailand at the time. What to do? Get married! The plan was to get married and then do long distance for my 2-year contract that I had back in the UK. We had a beautiful ceremony in Thailand, surrounded by family and friends, and we happily recruited Drew Richardson himself to be our celebrant. So, did I go back to being a lawyer? No. I followed my heart. Tony and I stayed together in Thailand, and we have since added 3 beautiful girls to our family. I think I've enjoyed every experience that I've had so far in the industry. I've been lucky enough to travel, work and teach on liveaboards, on private charters, in resorts, and I've also been able to dive in warm and cold water, as well as work behind the scenes from both a legal and business perspective. For me, the most enjoyable experience is to watch the professional development of a dive master or instructor candidate. Watching someone grow into becoming a PADI pro is an incredible thing and an amazing thing to be a part of. There's always a lot of emotion at any dive master or instructor passing out party.
I won't be holding back this time. I won't be taking back. I'm making a better start.
So it was always mine and Tony's dream to set up our own dive centre. Having built up almost 25 years of combined industry experience, we decided that while our girls were still young, to go for it. Since my family are Mauritian, and I'd been visiting the island every year since I was 1, we chose Mauritius as the ideal location. The island life, the scuba diving, and living and working here as Mauritian citizens and residents came together perfectly for us. With my background in corporate law and my experience as a staff instructor, alongside Tony as a previously very successful course director, regional manager and director for PADI, we believe that our combined knowledge and skill set provided a superb foundation for setting up a dive centre of our own.
'Cause I was scared of ever taking chances. I was scared of falling into love.
We chose to set up the centre from scratch rather than buy or acquire an already established dive centre. We were and are very committed to implementing our unique business plan, training approach and overall philosophy. Having an incredible amount of collective experience made a lot of decisions very easy to make, such as the compressor purchase and setup, equipment, tanks, pool and classroom specifications, and so on. We had a boat built from scratch, designed and tailor-made to work specifically for scuba divers. Being very familiar with social media use, website building and other marketing tools and strategies also helped to boost our initial setup and success. Having a strong working knowledge of our products and services was also really vital to being able to create a clear path and vision for our business and our dive centre.
'Cause I was scared of ever taking chances. I was scared of falling into love. I'm so used to putting up defenses.
Naturally, there's a certain amount of capital that has to be invested to any new business venture. There are different ways that you can fund a new business venture, whether it's private funds, with a business loan, a private investor, or a lease type basis. We chose to use private funds to set up our dive centre, but we did a lot of research, we prioritised the larger and more essential purchases, and made sure that as a family, we had enough to live off comfortably day by day without any regular salary or initial income. There will inevitably be some delays, some aspects will cost or take more time than what you anticipate, and there will be other bumps in the road. So it's really important to make sure that you have a contingency plan B to navigate these.
Up defenses, but I'm done. This time
We still had to choose where on the island we wanted to locate ourselves, and we settled on the north as the more lively tourist hub and with convenient access to some of the most spectacular dive sites that Mauritius has to offer. Some of the aspects took a little longer than we had hoped for, such as some of the permits that we needed in order to operate fully. And so we navigated this as best we could. As Tony and I have witnessed firsthand, as in every other industry, there is always some element of curiosity, some good, some bad, and some a little bit ugly. But we're incredibly proud of what we've built. We're here and we're strong, and even in spite of the global pandemic, we're still going.
feet first. I'm jumping into you.
So as a business owner, my day-to-day can be pretty hectic, but it can also be pretty varied, and it definitely isn't 9 to 5, but I love that. I love being my own boss, and I love being able to work flexibly around my family. This is hugely important to me. We have the luxury of designing our own life here. Naturally, there is a lot of admin that comprises my day-to-day, but this is something that I actually quite enjoy. I manage the marketing side of the business and also the accounting side of things as well. Building your own business is incredibly satisfying, and my other passions are of course teaching and diving. I'm a strong believer in developing yourself as an educator and trainer, and developing yourself as a PADI professional. So I teach and dive as often as I can, at least 2 to 3 days a week.
Feet first. I'm jumping into you.
COVID-19 hit us as it hit thousands of other small businesses all around the world. In March 2020, Mauritius closed its borders, preventing any of our international students and customers from travelling to us, and we were also in the middle of a national lockdown, meaning that our local clients couldn't travel or come to us either. So it was, and still is, a really uncertain time in which to run a business, and we're still navigating that as best we can. So we did and have done our very best to pivot our business model, and thankfully we have been very successful in this, alongside the partial reopening of the Mauritian borders back in October 2020.
But I'm done. This time I won't be.
A good dive centre can really help to tackle some of the issues that lie at the heart of any community. Aside from hiring local staff where we can, we also work to try and tackle some of the issues facing our local community. Littering and trash is a huge issue on the island, so we make sure that we do regular beach cleanups, and we are also very active in promoting and teaching the Project Aware Dive Against Debris course. This is Project Aware's citizen science programme that trains divers how to safely identify, remove, dispose of, report and record any marine debris found on the ocean sea floor. By doing this, we can help our dive sites stay clean and to help keep our reefs healthy. The data collected also helps to inform policy and change at a local and international level. We recently worked with National Geographic on the island to help promote their most recent project, Planet of Plastic.
I won't be holding back this time.
Last year, we launched our Crystal Ocean Explorers children's programme, which has been really successful and hugely popular. During the programme, children get the chance to experience scuba diving and also to become introduced to the world of marine conservation. They learn more about how they can make a difference, and our goal here is to better educate and equip the next generation to turn the tide of change in favour of our planet and also our oceans. So we're often asked what we look for in potential dive centre employees. The answer is quite simple. We don't have a one-size-fits-all set of requirements, and we never say never. Our ideal candidate must have the X factor, something you can't quite put your finger on, but something that is really inspiring, exciting, and makes you want to be around that person. We look for candidates who are passionate about the industry and passionate about the ocean. We place the most value on loyalty, trustworthiness, and professionalism. We also look for excellent interpersonal skills, a strong work ethic, a can-do attitude, and the taking of initiative. We would take life skills, personality, and attitude over industry and diving experience because we can always train the right candidate in all aspects of diving. In fact, the majority of our hires are candidates that we've trained ourselves from at least the dive master level. Languages are a huge bonus, but they're not everything. Social media and website building skills also make you really employable and versatile as an employee, but again, these are things that can be learned or developed if necessary. So my ultimate advice would be true to yourself. Don't try and be somebody you're not. You're in competition with no one because we aren't all playing the same game. Run your own race, and all you can do is try to be a better version of the person that you were yesterday. Reach out to people, network, connect, build each other up, and learn from each other. Don't be afraid of being told no or being knocked back, and don't be afraid of putting yourself out there. Take chances, take risks, and take every opportunity that you're given, because you'll never know otherwise. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. I really hope it's been helpful, inspiring, and insightful. I would love to work with any of you on a more personal and individual level, so please feel free to reach out to me directly anytime. It's been a pleasure to share my story with you, and a huge thank you again to Girls That Scuba for this awesome opportunity. Take care.